Hold on to your seats because we really need to talk about what just happened with that Dover Drive land bid. If you have been following the property news, your first thought was probably, wait, are these developers actually crazy? We are looking at a record-breaking price not just for this area but for the entire of RCR. And for most people, that would just be a moment of shock when they panic and then move on with their life. But there is a few hidden messages underneath this $951 million bid. And at this land cost, we are looking at an estimated break-even of 2,400 to 2,500 per square foot. That means that when this project actually launches, the prices are going to be potentially pushing 3,100 PSF and beyond. But here's the thing, don't just look at the price, let's look at the signals the developers, specifically Qingjian and Forsea, are sending. The first signal, while everyone else is reeling from the cost of the land, these two developers are basically making a high-level chess move to own the entire monopoly of this district. They are effectively buying the Dover Medway master plan and not just the land plot itself. And this is what I think they are doing, the averaging up strategy, and why this 1,556 PSF bid isn't madness. And to understand this, we have to look at what I call now the triple threat in this area. Qingjian and Forsea now own three major pieces of the parcel in this neighborhood, starting with number 1, Bloomsbury Residences, which was bought at 1,191 PSF PPR, the Hudson Place Residences, which was bought at 1,037 PSF PPR, and then we have the new Dover Drive GLS, the record breaker at 1,556 PSF PPR. And while most people think that bidding 1,556 PSF for land is Delulu, but think from it from their perspective. By bidding higher for this new Dover site, they just average up the value of their cheaper land plots at Media Circle. If the new neighbor across the road is priced at a land cost of 1,556, then suddenly the $1,037 plot at Hudson Place looks like an absolute steal for any buyer. They are not overstretched, they are just creating a pricing monopoly to protect their own inventory and ensure that they don't have to lower their prices to compete with themselves. And we've seen this before. Remember when people thought that Gokko Land was crazy for their high bid at Lentor Modern? Well, they ended up taking a stake in 4 out of the 7 plots there, and by owning the supply, they got to decide what the neighborhood's identity is gonna be, and they eliminated the competition. Qingjian and Forsea is now doing the exact same thing, but now in the west. And now for the second signal, let's talk about the Dover Medway master plan and how does this fit into the bigger picture. You see, District 5 is undergoing a massive structural shift. Under the URA Master Plan 2025, the government isn't just adding more houses, they are building a brand new urban village, whatever that means. The first phase alone is going to bring about 6,000 new public and private homes to the area near 1 North and Kenridge. And the hidden message here is that the government is trying to solve a major problem. Historically, 1 North was always a one-dimensional industrial hub. It was a place where you went to work from 9 to 5 and then it became a bit of a ghost town on the weekends. The bigger picture here is something called city industry integration. The vision is to turn this whole area into a dynamic live, work, play and learn hub. By injecting 6,000 new homes right next to the innovation labs, the government is ensuring that there is a large live-in population, and this makes the estate more vibrant and livable because you finally have the numbers to support the retail stores like the supermarkets, the cafes and the childcare centers that will have to stay open for 7 days a week. And this isn't just a local Dover thing, it's part of a massive West region transformation. Dover Medway is strategically positioned right between the Greater Southern Waterfront, which is revamping the entire southern coastline, and the Jurong Lake District, which is set to be Singapore's second CBD. When you look at the map, Dover Medway is the residential bridge connecting these two giant economic engines. And the third signal is found in the Budget 2026 announcement. Something more specific, the AI anchor with the government as the ultimate wingman. The government didn't just mention AI casually, they actually doubled down on that exact area. They are building this massive AI park at 1 North, a cluster designed to bridge research and business. And this is going to be game changer because of what we call now Kampong AI. And this isn't made up, by the way, it's all online. And this isn't just an office building, it is going to be the first startup community in Singapore with work and living spaces under one roof. We're talking about refurbished blocks that will house up to 70 companies and include 200 residential units right inside the hub. The government is also rolling out a training program to train 10,000 high-skilled AI and tech professionals and even convene, I'm not making this up, but an AI council to drive this initiative. And when you have over 10,000 new professionals coming in, they will be needing a place to live within the walking distance of their labs, so you definitely have a guaranteed price floor. These workers represent inorganic demand that isn't just based on local trends, but on a state-funded influx of high-income talent. The developers know that if the government is chairing a national AI council led by the Prime Minister himself to make sure that this hub succeeds, then the residential value of this area is practically anchored by the state. And now let's look at the Dover Drive site itself. It is mandated to have about 3,000 square meters of commercial space on the first floor, and this must include a supermarket of at least 1,000 square meters and also a childcare center, which goes to show that they are trying to create a family-centric environment, even though it may not be one as of now. And while this entire commercial space isn't exactly a giant mega mall, it is exactly the mini integrated hut that this neighborhood currently needs. Because right now, One North is a bit of a dead zone on weekends, and because it's also very office-centric, this new development solves the daily struggles for the 6,000 upcoming households by putting the essentials right at their doorsteps. It also transformed the area from a sterile R&D park into a vibrant urban village where you can actually go get coffee or buy groceries on a Sunday without traveling all the way up to Star Vista at Buona Vista. And so all in all, a good nod to bringing life to this district and making it more vibrant and livable in the coming years. And now if you want to know what's fueling the fire here, you have to look at the 1km monopoly. This land site is literally flanked by the heavyweight champion in the area, which is Fairfield Methodist Primary and Secondary, which is right across the street. In a neighborhood that hasn't seen a fresh private housing land sale in over 20 years, this kind of scarcity is a massive driver. And if you want to see proof of why this works, just take a look at our neighbor legends, the Heritage View and Dover Park View. These two have been the neighborhood's favorite for a long time, and Fairfield is the main reason why. Parents are willing to pay a premium just to get their kids within that 1km priority admission zone, and it is a luxury that is hard to put a price on, because imagine your kids being able to wake up later and just walk across the street to school every morning. And imagine having their school set up for the next 10 years because they will be able to hop from the primary to the secondary school once they're done with PSLE. And because of this constant wave of schooly families, demand for Heritage View and Dover Park View has stayed rock solid for decades. Even though they were built in the late 90s and 2000s, they have seen pretty insane price growths, like the 3-bedroom going at $2 million. And people aren't just buying these units for the resort feel, they are buying them to secure their children's education. This new Dover project is simply taking that Fairfield demand and applying it to a more modern, brand new development for the first time in 20 years. And now here's another interesting detail. If you have been following the news on the land sales in the entire area, you might have noticed that some nearby plots at Media Circle Parcel B received 0 bids even though it was put out. Or also that bid for the service apartment plot nearby, which was rejected because it was too low, but also at 461 PSF PPR, Frasers was also trying their luck lah. Anyway, a lot of people looked at that and said that, see, even developers are scared of this area. But if you look deeper, those sites failed because they were either unproven or perhaps lacked flexibility. Media Circle B was a tough spot because it was further away from the MRT and has no primary school within 1km. Guess which other development is like that? And in contrast, the Dover Drive site is a total different beast. It is right across the road from Fairfield Methodist Primary and Secondary, and in a neighborhood that hasn't seen a fresh private housing in years. That kind of scarcity is the major difference between Media Circle and Dover Drive land plot. And also the fact that 6 competitive bidders showed up for Dover Drive with only a 4.4% gap between the top 2 shows that smart money isn't scared of the area. They just want the best plot so that they can anchor a monopoly in this district. And if you're looking at this as an investor, you will have to look at the price gap. This is the difference between the new project and the legacy neighbors like Heritage View, which was built in 2000, and Dover Park View, which was built in 1997. These older condos are the current benchmarks and they have seen solid growths around 22 to 26% over the last 15 quarters. But those units alongside other legacy condos are transacting at around 1,500 to 1,700 PSF. This new Dover project is going to launch at nearly double that price. So the question is, who is going to pay for it? And the answer to that is the $1 million HDB bridge. In 2025 alone, we saw a record of $1,531 million HDB flats sold in Singapore. And especially in nearby mature estates like Queenstown and Bukit Merah, flats are hitting benchmarks of 1.63 million. Those owners are sitting on a mountain of cash and they have a very specific mindset. They don't want to move from a 5-year-old BTO flat into a 30-year-old condo with a decaying lease. They will likely want that newness premium. They want the efficient modern layouts where the aircon ledges aren't eating up the square footage, or maybe the modern facilities that the condos offer. And these HDB millionaires are the primary exit strategy for this monopoly. And even our direct BTO cluster, we are looking at Ghim Moh neighborhood, which has the newer 4-room flats hitting $1 million easily, and the 5-room flats even close to 1.4 million. So now imagine the prices of the even newer BTO cluster at the Dover Medway in the future. It's gonna be pretty insane, right? And even for some of you that may be thinking,
wow, shit, man, the land prices are gonna be so expensive. How are we gonna be affording this? Or maybe the more sour grapes will say things like, ah, yeah, the condo's too expensive now, no point buying, no one will buy, and the property market will crash.
for every land sale that goes on and for every new price benchmark that we hit for over the years, there will always be naysayers that are saying this. And all I can say is a property is still, after all, a purchase. Some people may be able to always afford the latest, newest, shiny thing, while others may only be able to afford the second hand. For the people that can afford the brand new shiny thing, then of course they would feel like, oh, this is just the price of getting something new. But if you can't afford that, then maybe you're looking at the wrong market and maybe the resale market would suit you better. There is no need to tell people that,
oh yes, it's too expensive, don't buy it, don't move towards new launches.
trust me, the developers and the government, when they come out with the land prices and when they actually beat and win the land prices, they have an army of people behind them counting and making sure that this turns out to be a profitable venture for them in the future. So if you can afford it, then great, you're looking at the right market. But if you can't afford it, then maybe that thing isn't too expensive, but maybe you're just looking at the wrong market. And so whether all in all, is this a genius IQ 1000 move by Qingjian and Forsea, or are they overstretched? The evidence we covered points towards strategic genius. They have used the government's 10 to 15 year vision, the Master Plan 2025, to shield their short-term risk. And here's my take on what this means for you. If you're looking for a quick flip, you might end up being the first loser. The Dover Medway transformation is a long-term play. It's gonna be a construction zone for the next, I don't know, 5 to 8 years. And if you buy now and expect to sell it in 3 years for a massive profit, you might find that the neighborhood isn't pretty enough yet to attract the next buyer. And if you're a long-term holder, this is a master stroke. You are buying into a Singapore-backed AI infrastructure plan with a guaranteed wave of buyers coming from those new HDBs that are coming up in the area, and also 10,000 tech professionals. You are getting in at the ground floor of an urban village that will look completely different by 2030 or 2035 or maybe even 2040. The main thing to remember is don't make this $2 million decision based on your feeling. You will have to look at the numbers and whether you can hold to the property till it reaches its full potential. Whether you're looking at Dover, Lentor or anywhere else, the hidden message is always the same. Follow the infrastructure, then follow the jobs, and follow the developers who are smart enough to own the supply. And I'm really curious to see how this all plays out when they officially announce the launch details. But for now, the message is clear. The West is being cornered and the price is the AI-driven future of Singapore. And if you like videos like this, consider subscribing to the channel for more real estate-driven topics. We release videos weekly and are trying to during this reservist period. I'm ASAP and I will see you in the next video.